Welcome back, everybody. From puppy therapy to writing therapy, our next guest stumbled into writing her debut novel by picking up a journal. Please welcome local author Hope Gibbs.
Yes, welcome in, friend.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh my God. Okay, so her debut novel is called Where the Grass Grows Blue, and it is a wonderful Southern saga. So you've got to explain Penny and the situation that she finds herself in, because I love it. This romance novel, it's got me in.
Well, so Where the Grass Grows Blue is one woman's journey to either accept her past by embracing forgiveness, or she's going to risk losing a second chance at love in a small Kentucky town. So it starts out, my character Penny, who you just mentioned, she finds out her husband has had an affair, he leaves her, and a year later she's still adjusting to it, but she has to go back to Kentucky because her grandmother has left her this home. And so she's been running away from Kentucky for a lot of reasons, but mainly because of her childhood sweetheart, best friend, and the keeper of her darkest secrets, who might have shattered her heart. So it takes place in this fictional small town, and so that's it.
Oh, I love that. But you grew up out there, so
did.
it might be fictitious, but you also, I'm sure, pulled pieces of it.
Absolutely.
Now, you became an author after the age of 50, is that correct?
I did.
Oh my, I don't even know that you could be 50, but
thank you.
but you have 5 kids. How did you transition from full-time mom to author? Oh my gosh, your family's beautiful.
There's my family. So I kind of had like a little mini midlife crisis. You know, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? Because, you know, when I was in my 30s, 50 seemed ancient, but when you're getting close to 50, it's right there. And so a friend suggested I start journaling, and that lasted about a week. I hated it. But before I knew it, I had started creating the outline of this character who became Penny. And so I kind of just dabbled with it. I kept it very quiet. My kids, a lot of them were still at home at the time. But I didn't really have a direction for it until one day at church, of all places, the minister said the name Bob Dylan. And of course I perked up, not that I wasn't listening, but then he mentioned this song title called Tangled Up in Blue. And I felt like I had been hit by, you know, creative lightning in church, and I knew exactly where this story was going. And about a year later, I wrote those words, the end.
Wow.
I get the chills. I love that when you get that divine idea, just it sinks into your heart and you're like, okay, I see it, I have the vision. Yeah. Now it's just taking the next step. I love, so the cover of this book was actually featured in New York Times Square on the big sign, the big billboard. There you are. What was that like?
Well, it was an incredible opportunity. My book had won a BookFest award for contemporary romance and small town romance, and so they feature the winners for one day. And so my husband and I flew up just for the day, and I got to meet a couple of author friends who live up in that area, and it was incredible, though. I never thought, you know, 3 years ago that I would be sitting here with you or getting the opportunity to go to Times Square. So.
Oh my gosh, it is twist of fate. You just never know. Okay, I was looking at the reviews. All very, very good. A couple of people said, I'm looking forward to the next book, and the second one I really liked. My only critique, it ended too soon. Aww. So what is next for you?
Well, I am writing my second book. I'm almost finished with it, and that takes place in Nashville with a group of women that they have a circumstance that brings them together, and they have to travel to 30A on their annual ladies' beach trip. And then my third book is going to be called The Racket, and it takes place in a tennis community, country club. I call it Alabama Rush meets a country club. So that's kind of what I'm doing. Plus I also podcast. I have a podcast that focuses on writing and people who are interested in publishing, because there's a lot of things that I didn't know, and so our tagline is, all the things that we learned the hard way, so you don't have to.
I like that.
I love that. Yeah. Well, now circling back to, you know, your writing and Where the Grass Grows Blue, you focus on embracing forgiveness.
Yes.
Why that topic?
I think for me, it's so important that one thing is, what happens if you've denied forgiveness? What does that do to you as a human, and what does it do to your story? And you live in fear almost. But more importantly, what happens if you forgive yourself and you extend that forgiveness that you probably should have forgiven a long time ago? And that's really Penny's journey. She has to forgive some things that's happened to her, but she also has to forgive herself for some things. So that was why that to me was just the perfect part of the love story.
Sure. I'm hooked. I want to hear
Yay.
more.
Yes.
No, that's pretty amazing. And I do want to mention you're going to be doing a signing.
I am. I'm going to be at You're Invited in Belmead on Wednesday from 2 to 4, and I'm going to be there signing books. They're going to have some sweets, and they think they said sips. So it's just, stop by, say hello. If you want to grab a book or two for Galentine's Day, please to do so. But I just love connecting with readers.
I love that. And the place is called You're Invited.
Yes.
That threw me for a quick second.
It does, yes. It is called You're Invited.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank you
it's
so
a
much.
huge
Our
accomplishment.
author.
Thank you.
Amazing.
Well, check out Where the Grass Grows Blue at a Galentine's Day event in Belmead. Hope will be signing books at the shop called You're Invited, Gifts and Paper.
This local on